voters got together that 4th of July day. That's when the land you're standing on became the US of A. United we will stand, but divided we fall. One nation under God says it all. Men are created equal, words written in by hand. They all stand to fight when a cry for freedom rings. Freedom isn't free, it comes with a cost. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all. This old world's changing, it's changing every day. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up everybody, stand proud and tall. One nation under God says it all.
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. We've got a good show for you guys lined up tonight. That was Calvin Alvin. I just talked to Calvin today. Tammy, are you there?
Hi.
There you are.
I'm right here.
How you doing tonight, girl?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hell, if I was any better, I'd be you, I guess. Or we'd all be as good as April. We got
there you go.
We got April on tonight. We're going to get into some politics stuff with her and what's going on in Putnam County. And then
welcome back, April.
Say hi to April, guys. She gets the whole applause. How come we never get that?
We're old hat.
How you doing tonight, April?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are y'all?
Oh, good.
Good.
I guess I'm still alive. I've got my nitro around my neck, so I'm really good.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Next, is it the 20th? Tammy? I don't have my book in front of me. We're going to have
today's the 20th.
No, was it 27th? We're going to have April on the air with the kids from the Special Olympics.
27th, yeah.
Yeah, she's big on helping the kids in the community, and they want to come out and meet her, so that's going to be a pretty good show. This guy's just got back from Seattle, April. They won a bunch of, in the Special Olympics, was it bowling and I think volleyball?
Oh, that's awesome.
And some other stuff. So, you're doing pretty good tonight. You getting excited about the election coming up?
Oh, yeah. I'm almost ready for it to be over.
What are you going to do after you win, though? Is there going to be a big party?
I guess so, maybe. There could be.
Okay.
I'm just ready to get to work, that's all. There's a lot to be done.
Yeah, so you're running for District 3.
Right.
What areas does that cover in South Putnam?
It's East Palatka, a little bit of downtown Palatka, the Satsuma area.
Okay. Does it cover East Palatka, too, as well, doesn't it?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. When's your next thing coming up?
The next
Public
forum?
speaking. Mm-hmm.
I think we have a forum on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 25th.
On the 25th?
I'm not sure if it's open to the public. I think the next one that's open to the public is in Bostwick, and it's on the 30th.
The 30th of this month?
Right.
Let me write it down so I can go out there and cover it. I shouldn't be in the hospital or anything. Bostwick? The 30th. You got a time on it?
I don't have a time. I'll have to look in just a few minutes. I can do that.
Yeah, if you can get back with me. That's the public one, where the public's
Right.
invited out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the other one about? Is it a closed door or?
It is. It's
Okay.
the Putnam Forward group.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Any other groups you're going to be speaking for?
Those are the only ones that I know of right now. Those are next week and the week after. We haven't planned anything else, but I'm definitely open to anything.
Okay. If you guys want to ask her some questions too, you can write in. She's going to be on the show again on the 27th, and then we can get the questions over to her. And don't be afraid. She's not afraid to answer any questions,
Bring it on.
especially on the Second Amendment.
She's very well versed in that one.
Oh, yeah. She's like the perfect gal. her husband is in the studio tonight. He's a lucky man.
Oh, I don't know if he agrees with that when it comes to the firearms, because we have a rule in our house that one of us isn't allowed to purchase a new or new to us firearm unless the other one gets one too.
It's not a bad rule.
Well, it's not to me, but you know, when he has to wait his turn, it's not so good to him.
Well, yeah, he's supposed to get his first.
Well, he usually does, but
Oh,
then he has to
why?
wait his turn until I get mine.
I know that sounded so chauvinist, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Hey, I can't help it. Good for me. Bad if I had a wife. My ex-wife used to be the same way. What'd you buy another gun for? Don't you have enough?
All right. Can you
No,
ever
is there
really?
such thing? That's like asking a crackhead, is there enough crack in Putnam? No. Okay, so we have, speaking of crack, we have a, I'm not going to talk about the butt crack, Tammy. Don't look at me that way.
I never know.
There was a guy scratching his butt the other day, and he sniffed it, and then he went back for 2 more sniffs like it wasn't good enough or nasty
Right,
enough for
right.
him the first time, so that was kind of nasty.
Well, I mean, you do live in Florida. I'm sure they probably come up with all kinds of stuff with smells and.
Yeah, we started getting a little bit into, Tammy, no, I'm not trying to ruin her thing. If she could put up with me, she could put up with all Putnam County.
Oh, bring it on.
Oh, damn.
I was raised by guys. You know, I grew up logging and stuff like that. So
Well, you've been in Putnam County
Oh,
all your
gosh.
life,
all of my life, yes,
and you're 7th generation, too.
I am.
Yeah, we're going to kind of go over some other stuff because there's more people listening tonight than there was last week. We have a pretty good sized drug problem in this county.
Right.
Any idea how bad it actually is, or?
I mean, I have my opinions of how bad it is. It's pretty detrimental, and it's creating chaos in our county, that's for sure. But I did come across good news, I think yesterday, and there's a new center in Crescent City that's opened.
Mhm. Yep.
For-
They're taking applications.
For employment.
For employment or drug
They're
addiction?
taking applications for employment,
Uh,
but it is a
for
drug
employment.
rehab.
Drug rehab. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Fine.
I
Where's
posted
that going to be at?
the-
The old hospital?
I don't have the address on me, but it is in Crescent City somewhere.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because Crescent City's got a couple of good things. They got the one free clinic that they're opened up over there now for people in our county that can't afford to go to doctors.
Which is quite a few people.
Yeah. Yeah, that Obamacare crap kind of Affordable Care Act kind of screwed a lot of people. But what do you see as an out for this county as far as, I mean, we're never going to get rid of drugs, face it.
Well, sure.
There's always going to be idiots and people that want to experiment no matter what you do. If you could get rid of all of them, give them a private island, stick them out, you know,
Survival of the fittest.
over in the forest and just leave them, drop bags of crack every couple of days and just let them have that until they just kind of dwindle away.
That would work. I mean,
But, I mean, what do you see that they need to do for the county to help the people out that are want to get off of crack?
well, I think a lot of it is, you know, it goes right back to raising our rankings when it comes to quality of health and quality of life in general. I've found with a lot of the addicts that I've come in contact with, a lot of them are just trying to escape reality. They have nothing to live for. They have nothing to look forward to. So they're trying to escape, and that's the easiest way to do it. If we raise our rankings and we offer more employment, more development, stuff like that, you know, give them a chance to actually get a job or to attain their education, I think those would help a lot. And then having the centers also that offer the rehab programs and stuff to help them.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. And that goes as far as the kids too, correct? I mean, if they don't have anything to do, they're going to get in trouble.
Sure, and if they don't have that guidance, and I mean, it's a vicious circle, because if their parents are on drugs and they're not offering the guidance that the children need, well, then what do you think are going to happen to the children?
Yeah, you were talking about last time opening some parks,
Yes.
getting some more parks open up in the county.
Yes, we need playgrounds and parks and everything, definitely.
How are you going to, I mean, you're going to get volunteers, going to come out of tax money? I mean,
I don't really think it would have to come out of tax money. The county owns plenty of property that they're not using, so why can't they just allocate a little piece of property and say, hey, this is going to be a playground? And then a lot of the equipment, a lot of the money would come from donations, I would think.
okay, yeah, because you'd have to cover the insurance. There's that stinking fly again in the studio. Every week, I fly-proof this thing. I've got fly tape and everything. It's because of the horses next door. We always have one fly, though, that hangs out in here, Albert.
Oh, no.
It's going to be Albert the wingless fly here in a little bit. You see him? He goes around. He lands on my mic. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just driving me crazy. Tammy, you got any questions for her?
Well, I wanted to bring up another good thing that happened that was announced this week, and that was the Putnam Edge School. They're going to have school in the new building. Well, not new to them.
Right.
Building. The old school board building.
The old Campbell building.
It's going to be utilized for them this year, and they're going to actually have their own building this year, and they're excited about that. We posted that on our page. I've seen it in a lot of different group pages and what have you. So I know that they're excited about that. And,
you
that's a
homeschool your
good thing.
I do.
You homeschool your kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Children.
I do.
I'm trying to be politically correct tonight. So I took a bashing the other day.
Well, you can't make everyone happy. Even if you are politically correct, you're going to make someone mad. So you
I
might as
can't.
well just say what you have to say and be done with it.
I can't be. That's why I can't run for office. People will be calling me Trump. Now, with the charter schools and stuff and the public schools, I know you homeschool your kids.
Right.
That's so that they'll get a better education.
Right.
What can you see that they can do to improve the education in this county? I mean, is there anything or...
Well, I mean, it's kind of sad that it all just stems right back to the same answer. It's raising our quality of health and raising our quality of life, because if we can do that, then we're creating a better environment for our children so that they can have, they have a better environment mentally and physically, and that rolls over into their educational environment also.
Now, what are some of the other ideas you have?
As far as
cleaning up this county and... I mean, you drive around. I know they have the Keep Putnam Beautiful thing. Those guys do a wonderful job every year. Right. If I didn't have a heart attack, I'd have been out helping them this year again.
But then again, we need more of the community to actually step up. I mean, if they weren't throwing their litter out of their vehicles on the way down the streets to begin with, then that would cut out on a lot of it. But it's just paying attention to the little details like that. Don't throw your litter out. If you see something, pick it up. Look at the boat ramps and everything that are all overgrown or they're just not accessible to begin with. If you clean something as little as that up, or fix the ferries, it's the little things, it's the little details, and those are what make up the big picture that's going to help everything. But no one's paying attention to that. Everyone's trying to skip straight to the big picture and say, oh, well, this is where we need to be. Let's just be there tomorrow.
Yeah, one of the things I think that they overlook big time in this county is our history.
Yes.
I mean, we have the oldest ferry. I did find out this week that they're get down to taking bids on the road, getting it done in there, and also the ramp and everything else. So hopefully they're going to get that up and running for citizens. But the amount of history that we have around here, I don't understand why they haven't come up with a
market it, promote it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I mean, in the 1800s, we were one of the greatest areas to be in the entire nation. We had thousands of hotel rooms, everything. Why can't we be that again? If we were that in the 1800s, and here we are in 2018, why are we way worse?
Oh, yeah.
It was a vacation destination at that time.
Right.
It was also the biggest citrus producing county in Florida at one time.
And we had the second largest cypress mill, I'm pretty sure, also.
Yeah, and those things are all
gone.
They're gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
And it looks more and more like, I mean, there's a few businesses coming to town. I think some of the county commissioners are doing a good job.
Right.
But
you have to look at the small details even when it comes to business, because I feel like they're all focused on trying to bring bigger businesses here, but we don't have the workforce or anything else to support them. So if they bring more industry and they bring bigger companies, then they're still going to end up hiring employees from out of Putnam County, which is one of the complaints that everyone has to begin with. But we don't have the workforce to support something like that. We need to start small. We need to start with little boutiques and little at-home businesses and stuff like that that are actually going to serve the needs of our communities.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to ask Tammy, I've been saying that for years, is that bringing big business into this county is not going to bring in tourism.
Right.
You can have 100 mills here, and that's not something for them to see.
Right.
I mean,
if you don't have shopping or you don't have restaurants, you don't have anything for them to actually come here and do as a tourist, then what's the point? I mean, your big industry, your big business isn't going to help with that at all.
I mean, I think that they should model it after DeLand and St. Augustine. You need a horse and buggy downtown, pulling people.
Right.
If they would offer some incentives, I'm not really a horse and buggy, but...
Well, look at our bike lanes. Use our bike lanes as an example. Why aren't we a trail town? There
Yeah.
are trail towns all over the place that are successful in what they're doing, and we have the Florida Trail, we have all of the bike lanes, we have the Blue Way trails, we have the hiking trails in general. Why aren't we using those? Why aren't we using them to our advantage to draw people here and send them other places? If we had restaurants and shopping boutiques and whatnot to support that, then we would be able to send them there as well.
Yeah, that's the thing I think is a real key to it, is getting these smaller businesses in, because our people now are going over St. Augustine, Yankeetown, DeLand,
Right.
Jacksonville. Yeah, you're right. It's the small businesses that are going to keep this town thriving. And there's enough tourist stuff here for them to see. Not everything has to be Walt Disney World,
Definitely. Definitely.
or Orlando.
And like I said, it can be as small as cleaning up a boat ramp so that they can actually get to it and get to the water without, it being a liability for everyone.
Yeah, I
Boat,
mean,
boat access, fishing access, parks to picnic in,
Right.
quaint shopping and restaurants that are unique and not
Fast
your
food. Chain restaurants.
Chain restaurants.
Right.
Right. Mom and pop restaurants that are unique to the area, maybe, regional cuisine and things that are unique to the area, not necessarily like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So things that are going to draw people to the area and say, hey, this is what Crescent City's about, or what Palaca's about, or what North Florida is about.
Sure.
no, you got some restaurants that prove that already. Look at Corky Bell's. They got people coming in from
Right.
Daytona, Jacksonville, all over the place. They've got good food. Muscle White's the same way.
And they're wonderful, but we need more of that type of thing.
I was gonna say you can only eat at the
draw
the
more
same restaurant
people.
so many times.
Right.
You have to have a change.
Those are good, but then you need other things. You need somebody who does, really fantastic Southern cooking maybe, or those different types of things. And then you need to throw in the shopping. You need things you need activities that are going to draw families and younger people.
Right.
That's going to make it really attractive for people to want to come and stay for a couple of nights, and that it's going to put the business into the hotel rooms and just make it more attractive for that.
And I think almost before you do that, you almost have to start even smaller and look at the people that we have in our county and the needs that they need served. We have to serve our communities before we can draw tourists here to serve them.
Oh, I agree.
But all of that, the restaurants and everything, those are still needs that we need as residents that are already here. We're the ones that are forgotten about, and that's what needs to change as well. They need to realize that, hey, we're still here. We're the ones that are paying everyone's salary, that are making decisions for us, and they're not the good decisions. So why are we paying you to do bad things to us?
Right.
Well, hopefully you can get in there and help change that.
Hopefully.
It's going to take more
Hopefully.
than you, though.
Yes, it definitely will. And, and it's going to take the entire community, to be honest with you. The entire community is going to have to change their mindset and their actions, everything.
Yeah. Well, there's the county commissioners that are actually like Bill Pickens and Chip Lible,
Right.
Larry, even though Larry, you don't call me back. Larry Harvey, he never calls me back. Hell of a nice guy, but he never calls me back. I don't understand why, but
I think that's the complaint that a lot of people have about a few of them.
yeah. I hope Larry Harvey gets elected again, but, he doesn't call me back,
Right.
period. And I'm not bashing you, Larry. Give me a call.
I think that's your hint, Larry.
Because if you don't, April's going to come in there and hassle you when she gets in there. Have sticky notes all over your desk.
All right.
I've got like 30 packs of those things now. I could just give you a couple packs of them and go stick one on his back every day.
Oh, I'll go crazy.
Kick me
Make
until
sure
he
they're
calls
very
me.
colorful so everybody sees them.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And neon.
These are cool looking though. Man, I got neon green. The
There
orange.
you go. That's what you need.
Opted out of the pink. I didn't want to get my butt kicked.
But really, I have to be careful with the example that I set with my children, because I'll end up with the kick me sign on my back not knowing it.
Well, that's a
That's
good. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. You're a wife and a mom. How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
4.
4 kids.
You count them up like 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank God there ain't no more. Just leave it at that.
Sometimes, and, in all honesty, we have puppies also. Our dogs, they're our babies too. And when they're in trouble, we're yelling dog names to yell at kids, and we're yelling kid names to yell at dogs, and it's just they're all mixed in together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, that's what my mom used to say when there's 4 of us. And she would always say that 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank God there ain't no more. Get out the door.
There were 4 of us as well, so yeah.
That was as she was slicking my head down
4
with
girls
Crisco.
at that.
That's when she was slicking my head down with Crisco before I go to church.
Nice.
You could have taken enough grease off my shoulders to fry chicken with. So what dates are the elections?
The primary is August 28th, and I want to say early voting is from the 16th to the 25th of August.
Okay.
But I'll have to look to be sure. But I'm almost positive those are the dates.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you're going to take it.
I hope so.
I know the other person that's running, but they haven't called me or anything.
Right.
It'd be nice to get you guys in here on a debate, but when they don't return phone calls, they don't get a debate.
Right.
I could bring in a Democrat for you because you are a Republican if you want me to do that.
Well, that's the sad thing. There are no Democrats running. It's 3 Republicans and an independent write-in.
Yeah, I wonder why they're not running this year. I know there's a bunch of them in Putnam County.
There are.
By the way, I love my Democratic friends. Sometimes you guys just aggravate me, but watch all the ones I get on this one. So I'm not supposed to ask you this, but you're fairly young, and you've been studying politics and watching Putnam County as you've grown up.
Sure.
So you've got a bunch of changes to do it. This is going to be one of the hardest jobs you've ever paid to get.
I do. And we've discussed that. But, like I said, it's either fight for my home or leave at this point because our family is not going to survive here much longer. We're a family of 6, and the median household income for Putnam County is, $33,000, something like that. How are you supposed to survive as a family of 6 on that?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I've got a son that I can't survive on that with. He's 17 years old.
Right.
He eats that in a year.
Well, like I said last time, even those, like your son, he's younger and he's probably working a minimum wage job, which most people around here are. And it's almost mathematically impossible to work a minimum wage job and advance from where they are to the next step.
Well, he's just like the rest of his friends, and we mentioned this last time. When he says the day he graduates, he's out of Putnam County because there's nothing here for him.
Right.
And I said,
then if we had the more small business, more local businesses here that are growing and eventually having to hire employees, then there would be more options for him. Right now, if you want a career, you have maybe a handful of actual careers in Putnam County. Otherwise, it's just a job.
Yeah, you're either working for a fast food chain around here, or you're working for, a Walmart or
the school district,
a Winn-Dixie or Hitchcock's or something like that. You're working for a grocery store. There's not really anything that I can see right now. He drives to DeLand every weekend to go to work.
Well, see, and if they have special interests, you can think if you had internet and everything to offer to them, then you would have more younger entrepreneurs. So they wouldn't have to grow up and say, okay, now where am I going to get a job? It's going to be, okay, now what am I going to do today? What part of my business am I going to handle today?
Yeah, none of these kids want to go out and shovel potatoes in Hastings or, stock groceries.
Most and there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up, grading potatoes and stuff as a kid,
Oh, yeah, I did too. But most of these kids today,
you have to have more.
All internet brains.
Yes.
They can get a phone. It amazes me that my son and daughter or grandkids, any of my kids, can take a phone out of the box and flip it on and know everything on it. And You're probably that way too.
To an extent. I like pen and paper. I'm old-fashioned.
Yeah, you guys have grown up with that. I've got stacks of notes and everything else.
Well, I didn't actually. I grew up in the woods. We had 4 channels. We didn't have the computer and the internet and all that stuff. We didn't have satellite or cable or anything for us to sit around and watch. We grew up working. But my husband and I, we make a pretty good balance because he's actually a software engineer. So everything he does is, it has to deal with technology. So we balance out pretty well with that.
You see the way I am in here. There's 6 big, huge
this
monitors.
is how he would have it if he could at home.
and there's all the stuff. I know how to work this.
Right.
That's it. If I didn't have a Chris and a Cameron and Marie and and Tammy and all this stuff. Forget about it.
But you are right, though. I mean, my 4-year-old, she can pick up a phone and know exactly what to do.
Yeah, so they're not going to want to. Those kids are not going to want to stay in Putnam County and
right where there's not even internet.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that right after the break. I don't want to get into that just yet, but
Yeah.
I mean,
And the schools require it these days.
Right. The last I heard, and it's probably been changed or updated since I've heard last, but you had to have at least one online class to graduate high school. And how can you do that when you're relying on satellite, which is dependent on our weather, which we live in Florida, so how dependent is that? Or your cell phone?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Tammy.
Well, and like we discussed last time, they don't even teach these kids how to write in cursive anymore.
Cursive, grammar, handwriting in general, any of it.
It's gone.
Right.
And how are they supposed to go out into the world and find anything that's worth having as a job, as a career, if they can't even sign their own signature?
Right.
Well,
if they don't practice handwriting in general, how are they going to have any career where, their handwriting isn't going to be legible for them to pass their work to the next person?
Exactly.
Oh, a lot of them, because I know the little kids, even my son in high school, they're required, or I'm required, to rent a computer or lease a computer from the school for the full years, $35, $40.
Right.
I don't know if it was going up this year or not, but every year for the last 2, maybe 3 years, every year, dad's got to come out of a pocket, which for our residents, that's kind of expensive. You got 4 or 5 kids.
Right.
2 kids, you're talking about $70. 4 kids, you got $140 to come up with, and then if they break it, that's for the insurance and stuff. But if certain damage is done, and my son, he's always had a hard time holding a plate of food. How he hasn't dropped his laptop or something is beyond me.
Spilled something on it.
Yeah, but with his electronics, he's never going to drop them. But you hand him a plate of food, I'm not kidding you, until he was 6 or 7 years old. DCF's probably going to come and get me for this one. But till he was like 7 years old, 6 or 7, he would drop his plate. Every time I would hand it to him, he'd stand there and talk to me, and he would tilt the plate forward, and his food would fall off onto the floor. I had to mop the floor every time before we eat. And then he would just sit down on the floor and start eating it with a fork. I'm like, that is so nasty.
No, our 4-year-old literally dumped 3 cups, one after the other, yesterday, and my husband would fill her cup up and say, "Okay, do not spill it." And as soon as he would hand it to her, it would just slip right out of her hands, right onto the floor. And 3 times in a row, she spilled 3 cups of juice.
Yeah, I did that last night.
But you're right; they're not going to drop the electronics. Those are like bricks of gold to them.
No, I drop my phone all the time.
So do I.
Well, actually, I dropped a plate of food last night, so I can't rag on my son. The dogs liked it, though. I just had 2 pieces of chicken, some vegetables, all this stuff. Walk in to eat it, go sit down in the living room and watch thing, and I go to chair there that swivels, and the stinking thing hit the plate. My leg hit the chair, and it dumped right on the floor, and both dogs are sitting up there looking at me like,
It's a good meal for them tonight.
Yeah, I got you on this. All right, well, let's go ahead and pay some bills here real quick. Can you stick around for another half hour?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And we'll get right back with you. Okay, let's see. Who do we want to do first? Let's do the produce stand.
Okay.
Yeah, the stand, Matt and Luann's. I was just down there. I went in there and got some cool stuff going on now. They've got a whole huge truck, maybe 2 trucks today, and watermelons, everything. They have, what was that you were eating, Chris? Pomegranate?
A dragon egg plum.
Dragon egg plum. You ever hear of such a thing?
Those are good, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a big cherry. Chris was eating. He says real good. I can't eat a whole lot of citrus.
It reminded me of a cherry.
It tastes like a cherry?
It like, take the tart out of a cherry and just keep the sweet.
No, he said take the tart out. Could you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. But and they also are carrying some bags of mixed vegetables right now, which is pretty cool. And my favorite, the radish. I know you don't like them, but since elementary school. Okay. Do-do-do.
They're a little too bitter for me.
Yeah, put Andrea's picture up there. There you go. We have another picture, but we didn't get time to load it in. There's two ladies down there. I'm supposed to give them a shout out, Ashley and Brittany. They took a picture with Andrea down there, and 2 customers that walked in.
Oh.
I told them we would make them famous. They're probably going to shoot me for doing it, but
You love to make people famous.
yeah. Cars. Where we got Cars at? Cars is hiring. If you guys need a job and you have a car that you can get back and forth to work in, and you're not a crackhead or a meth head, you need to go apply. If you're going to be late every day, don't even bother calling them. But if a lot of people say they're looking for jobs and stuff, here's your excuse not to. Call them up. They do auto repairs. Their prices are cheap as all get. I don't think you'll find cheaper in Putnam County or in Jacksonville or surrounding areas. They have 3 locations, though. One over in 3520 Krill. That's right between Taco Bell and 19 on the right-hand side. It looks like a big red barn. They do auto repairs. They also have another one. Oh, their tires, too. They do their tires at cost. You guys they don't have any markup on their tires. You just pay for them out in balance. They have one in Green Cove Springs, and they also have a Advanced Auto Care in Gainesville. You guys need to check them out. Their phone number is, I'll give you the one in Palaca. 325-6005. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Did you get this week's ad for T-Mobile? No, we're not. Okay, we're not going to run T-Mobile tonight. Let's see. Whose is that one? The clinic, Animal Health Center. Dr. Smith and Dr. Nagy, great doctors. I love those guys. They saved my dog's life. The cracker is still alive. A little bit of issues, but nothing major. Doctor says some
Thank God.
Epsom salts. The stitches will come out in a couple of weeks. I guess she's doing real good, but you guys need to go over there. They do dental x-ray, spaying, neutering, dental cleaning, small animal orthopedics, and they also do boarding. So if you need to leave your animal at a good, safe place, I love that car in there, in their ad. Oh, yeah, I've got to give a shout out to, okay, you can go ahead and pull that one down. You guys go in and see them at Animal Care Center. A shout out to Neuro Health Center in St. Augustine. That is, yes, it's in my book. Hang on. Which book? Oh, inside it. You stuffed it in there. Okay, say something, Tammy, while I'm doing this.
Something Tammy.
Wait. Here it is.
Let's see.
Veronica, Amy, Michelle, Ashley, and Yvette. And Yvette. I had to go over there today. They're all beautiful women, too. But I got to give them a shout out. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll get back over and talk to April. The giveaway is over for Twisted Frozen Yogurt, but you guys make sure you go in there and see them, 3705 Krill Avenue. I didn't have the name tonight.
We'll put it up on the page tonight. Well, the giveaway for cars, the front end alignment is also over. The first one.
Okay.
We'll have another one going up as well on that, but we'll put those up on the page.
Yeah, next week for cars, we're going to be giving away, they're going to be giving away a front end alignment, which I need to get over there and get one done on my truck.
Yeah, this will be the second one. They gave us 2.
Okay, yeah, that's 2 of them that they've given away. See, I told you guys they love their customers. All right, let's, you want to do Bob's? No, we'll save that for last. Because I got to rag on Bob a little bit for not calling me back today and yesterday. I had to call his mama. All right, well, let's get back to April.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, we'll give her applause. You got an applause button. I could see her later on up in Congress. You know, people cheering for her.
I don't know if I want to go that far. I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you when I'm a ghost, like 90 years from now. You'll be like Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein. You'll be like 100 years old, still in office.
I don't know about that. No,
Still-
I'm a pretty firm believer that you shouldn't make politics a career.
Yeah, you'll be fighting for the people though when you're even that old.
Definitely.
She believes in
got-
term limits.
She got a long ways to go.
Yes, definitely.
But they need people like you in Congress, in the government, people that want to get things done and straighten a messed up system
Well,
we
do the
got
job
out.
that they're actually supposed to do.
Yeah, that would be
Ooh,
nice.
that's a novel idea.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I hope we can get in there and change things.
I hope so. Looks like I said, this is my home. I'm not ready to leave yet, so here we are.
Now, like I say, I'm not bashing the other county commissioners. There's a few of them that don't call back and don't call their constituents,
Right?
which doesn't make for a good person that's representing them. They don't need to be politicians.
No, it's actually it's a complaint that I've heard quite often throughout my campaign.
Yeah, you had somebody say that at one of your rallies, right? When they were asking questions, it was like a town hall meeting. They asked
One of the forums. Mm-hmm.
they ask somebody.
Well, they've asked almost all of the standing commissioners now at the forums that I've been to, about calling and everything. And every one of them has, of course, said, oh, if you give me a call, I'll make sure to return your phone call. And it's like, yeah, you have to say that now.
Before the election.
Right.
After the
Where
election.
were you before you were actually, filed to run?
Yeah, after the election, don't hide behind a closed door.
Right. Well,
Well, at least-
everyone needs to realize that anyone in an administrative position, whether you're elected, hired, appointed, whatever the case may be, you're put there to serve the communities. You're not put there to help your friends or to help yourself or to do whatever you want to do. You're put there to help the communities and to serve the residents and do what they want you to do, because the residents are supposed to control the government, not the other way around.
Yep. Well, I've been calling, like the Department of Road Works here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been calling them for 2 stinking years. 2 years.
Right.
And you see my road out here. I don't know if you've driven around, over by my house and stuff, but just if you do that, drive around by my mailbox sometime and look at the road. It is literally down.
Your cliff, your drop off.
Yeah. My Clifton drop off. Your car will bottom out. It'll sit there
Right.
like a seesaw and teeter out. And for 2 years, and my son almost got killed riding a lawnmower. The cliff that they've created, he almost fell
right
off. Yeah, and the lawnmower flipped over. I mean, he could have been cut up like the homeless
And of course,
guy.
they're not going to take any liability for it. It's all going to be on you.
Yeah. Well, not in
Even
this
though
case.
they created the problem.
Yeah, not in this case. If he gets hurt like that, somebody getting sued. And I'm not
I don't know if they can afford it.
I'm not
you
a
would
sue
probably
person.
own Putnam County.
Yeah, I'll own Putnam County, and then you'll be the vice president. Your husband will be running the internet.
All right.
Okay, we were talking about the internet before we
Yes.
went on. We kind of got into it a little bit last time. But you had some good ideas for internet for people where they wouldn't have to purchase internet. That, and like you're saying with the technology and stuff, that could bring in a lot of business here.
Well, there's so much new technology. I mean, they haven't even, it feels like, I can't say they haven't because I'm not in their heads. I don't see what they do every day. But it feels like no one is even trying to put forth an effort to bring better technology here.
Okay, we were talking about the internet thing, and you were sitting there saying that, there's ideas and things that it could work to
Sure.
get everybody in Putnam County internet. And the one problem I say before we move on that is even though these kids have to get computers and stuff, with the schools, when they get home at night, a lot of the parents don't have internet.
Right.
So, and they can't afford internet. I know.
Well, think about after schools too. If they could actually afford the internet or had the internet available to them, then once they finish high school, then they can get their online degrees there. They can do college educations from home, which gives them even more of a future.
Yeah, my son, his friends come over to my house on the weekends and stuff, and they have to do, and my daughter was the same way because they didn't have internet. They all flock over here, and then, of course, Dad is sitting there trying to
Right.
do research, and my internet's dragging from having 15 kids over my house.
Right.
So I had to go with a higher speed internet just to pay for the other kids in the community to come over to my house. And I
Hey,
think,
at least you have an option for a higher speed.
yeah,
We're stuck with what we have, and that's it.
well,
Yeah.
yes and no, I do. But the fiber optics, which is what they're supposed to have hooked up to my house,
Right.
they don't hook it up. Even though it's running through all the lines, they don't have it hooked up. And we were talking about that just before we went on the air, and you were talking about this, the leftover signal and stuff. First of all, would everybody in Putnam County be getting internet for free, or would there be a?
I don't know that it would be for free. There probably would be a cost to it. It would. I think some of the ideas that have been proven already would be cost efficient for them, but I don't know that it would be free. But there are a few ideas out there that have been proven to be successful that other communities have already tried.
Yeah, because my bill is like over $300 a month.
Right, we pay over $100 a month, and we have internet half the month.
Yeah, and I have two different internets, of course, but I have to have the highest speed because my son's an Xbox freak.
All right.
So, I mean, how much do you think it would be? And I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I mean, are you talking $50 per household, 25? I mean,
To be honest with you, I really don't have the numbers worked out as far as, at that far. But it's just simple ideas that you can take and you can use, such as, switching over. When we switched over from analog channels to digital channels, we left behind all of the white space. And all of that white space, if you strategically place antennas around the county, the higher buildings, the silos, stuff like that, it's a lo-fi signal. So it would broadcast internet all across, to certain distances. And it actually has higher upload speeds as well.
so that would be pretty cost effective for
Yeah,
the
and
county.
like
then.
I said, you just find the taller buildings, like, we passed a silo to get here, put an antenna on the top of the silo, and then everyone within a certain distance would have internet that way.
So if you got, we got close to 70,000 residents and dwindling every day.
Right.
That would be a lot of money, even at, just to pay the equipment. If you charged everybody, $100 a year,
Well, and even if you had to bring another business in and actually open a business to handle and maintain all of this, that's still another business in Putnam County that still helps in every other facet.
yeah, they would have to have somebody checking for lightning around this place. Get
Well, and
trees
they would
getting
need
hit.
employees.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
There would be
employees.
an employer.
The other thing you were talking about is, you were talking about the white
The white space.
the white space. That's digital because I'm brain dead when it comes to this kind of stuff. I told you, pen and paper.
Well, necessity is the best teacher, in all honesty, and that's where I've come across all of this. Like I said, I love research. Research is one of my favorite parts, and that's one of the strongest points that I think will help me as a commissioner if I'm elected. But just some of the research that I've come across, and that's how I've learned it. Honestly, I didn't know about white space. I didn't know about any of this stuff, and then I came across it, and I was like, let's see how this works. Other communities are doing it. It's proven to help them, so why not? Let's research it.
So, but just sticking an antenna on the grain silo that's down the road from my house.
Right, and like I said, it's lo-fi, so you don't actually have to be within sight of it. There can be the trees in the way and everything else.
Yeah. Any idea how far it would reach out? I mean,
No, I don't have that one yet. Like I said, I'm still in the research part of this one, but it's something that other communities have tried, and it's been proven, and it's pretty cost efficient comparatively, if you ask me.
if you put up a tower like the one they have at 17 and 309, I get right under that stinking thing, and I don't have signal on my cell phone. It amazes me. And I'm a mile and a half from there. No,
Right.
exactly a mile from that thing, and I have the worst cell phone signal inside my house.
And that's another thing that I've heard a lot of people complaining about is just the cell phone service in general. If you have to rely on your cell phone for internet because you don't have any other option, how are you supposed to do that when you don't even have cell phone service either?
Yeah.
It's just she needs to move her camera back to where it was. There, no, back. fine. There we go.
I like her background. I've got to get something like
you.
that for behind me, but my drums work for me, so. Okay,
I have there's a drum in that background. See, I have a little.
I see that, and a guitar. I got the same setup reversed.
Exactly.
Except for I can go play mine.
So
what were you
I
gonna
wanted
ask?
to ask a question. This is a little bit taking us away from the whole internet issue. This is going kind of back to the schools, and I know you do homeschool your kids, but I didn't know if you were aware. One of the middle schools this year has decided that they are not going to allow their students to carry backpacks. And the parents are extremely upset about the situation. What are your thoughts on that ruling, so to speak?
I don't know. That one's kind of a sticky one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not having
I mean,
backpacks creates the transparency that they need, to protect the students a little better because they can't hide a lot of the bigger weapons or whatever they choose to use. But then again,
And
I mean,
also, just to also qualify the situation, evidently, they took the lockers away a few years ago, so there are no lockers, and now they're not allowing backpacks. And the students have been told that they can carry a 3-ring binder that zips and has handles if they would like, and the girls are allowed to carry a purse, but the purse can be no larger than a sheet of notebook paper.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
not a lot.
in all honesty, it's just like any other crime. You can take everything away from them that you can possibly take away from them, but if they want to do it, they're going to find a way, one way or the other, to do it. So it's
Right.
kind of obsolete, in my opinion, and it just creates a bigger strain on the children and makes them feel even more like criminals when they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why don't I just strip them down naked and have them run around the schools? Because, when
Well, like I said, if they're going to do it, they're going to find a way, no matter what you do, no matter what you take away from them. They're going to find a way.
oh yeah,
Right.
especially they could walk in with a gun in their baggy pants. But what I've seen is it's people coming in from the outside into the schools where
Not
they
even part
went.
of the school.
Yeah, whether they were kicked out of school or, it's nobody going there daily and then walking in. It might be one or two, but not out of all the shootings. And people think this is something that's happened recently. It doesn't.
Oh, no. Daniel and I, we were in school. God, I don't even know how many years ago. We're not going to go there. But when we were in school, we went through the same thing. They took our backpacks. They took our lockers. They did all of that stuff to us, too. So we went through it. But like I said, it just defeats the purpose, because if they're going to do it, they're going to do it regardless. And like you said, half of them aren't even a part of the schools that they're going after. So what does it
Right.
really do for the students who aren't allowed to carry backpacks? And then it also presents the problem where if there is a school shooting or something of the sort, a lot of the students are using their backpacks as bulletproof shields now. So if they don't even have that, then now what?
And I know that there are some manufacturers out there who have produced bulletproof backpacks,
Right.
that are supposed to be protective of the students.
Mm-hmm. Or even just a few
I have not
textbooks and
seen
stuff
one,
in your
but-
backpack.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Even just having a few textbooks stacked together in your backpack.
Right, exactly.
Because I think
Exactly.
Daniel and I came across a bulletproof backpack not too long ago, and it was $150. So, if you're buying a $150 backpack and you have more than one child, then that's going to get up there. But like
And
I
then
said, even taking a few textbooks and stacking them together inside your backpack, that's going to create a shield as well.
That'll cover
And
your
then
head.
there's Right. And then there's a question of durability and how, if I've seen a lot of comments on some of these groups where parents have talked about the fact that they go through several backpacks a year, with the weight of the books in the
Right.
backpacks and things like that, because
Well,
they
and
carry
children
so
aren't
much
gentle
in them.
either. Children aren't gentle on their possessions, so that
Well,
adds
no,
to it.
of course. And if they don't have lockers and they have to carry all of their textbooks with them all the time, it's going to put a lot of wear and tear on a backpack too.
Right.
Forget the
So-
textbooks and this stuff. I mean, where are they going to hide their love notes, Like, will you go out with me? Check yes or no. I mean, all of a sudden, where are you going
Do
to
they
hide
still
those?
Do that?
Well,
I
and
think
not
they
to
just
get too
text each other.
No,
these
it's
days.
texting now.
not to get too graphic
Yeah.
or anything, but think about the females. They
Yes.
have their visitor, I
Exactly.
guess, if you want to call it. And if they're not allowed to carry a backpack, not every female carries a purse. So what are they supposed to do there?
I didn't
Right.
think about that. Holy crap. Yeah, you guys got a point at that. I mean, Tammy, you would be so pimped right now. I've seen your purse. I picked your purse up before. Well, I've tried to pick it up. I drag your purse.
All right. That's
Every
our
time she
exercise.
She comes over, she brings like one suitcase, but I swear if you open the thing up, it's like fills the whole room up.
Is it like
So-
the Mary Poppins bag?
Yeah, how did you get so
Yeah.
much in there? But I mean, where the boys supposed to hide their Playboys and stuff at that they sneak out of their dad's house, or hang their girlfriend's picture, or back in the day it was hang a picture of Jacqueline Smith or Farrah Fawcett up in your locker, so all the other guys can come over and think you're cool.
Right.
But I mean, in the wintertime, you're gonna have to lug it. I mean, these kids keep jackets with them, gloves. People don't think it gets cold in Florida, but by God, it does.
Especially when you're not used to the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were back in school, I mean, this was a long time ago, but when we were underclassmen, we had these little like cubic foot lockers, and then when we got to be seniors, we graduated to the tall lockers. It was an honor to have that tall locker.
Right.
We worked our way up to it, and when you were a senior, everybody knew the senior lockers were the tall lockers. And it was something special for us to have those tall lockers. And these days, these poor kids, they don't have anything.
Right. Not even backpacks
You know?
anymore.
I just feel so bad for them.
How are they gonna shove a kid in and shave and cream them?
I guess that's what the trash can is for, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, at some of the schools they ban water too. Can't bring bottled water in, and
Really?
we have some of the oldest infrastructure in the United States. I think.
Right.
I've been up to one of the high schools and went to get a drink out of it, and it's like green around the top of. My kids refuse to drink out of it.
Well, in all honesty, like it might sound a little snobbish, but I don't drink tap water at all. I won't drink out of a water fountain or any of that stuff. I don't drink tap water because you never know what's
Neither
in it.
do I.
Oh no, I told Tammy this, but you haven't heard this story, so it's a good one for me to drop it on. Okay, I'll get to the YouTube question in just a second. We were at I was at a doctor's office, and this little 2 or 3 year old comes up, and the water bottles, like the Zephyr Hill ones, this little kid starts drilling her nose, and then wipes it up into the spigot. And she kept going back and doing it, and I'm like telling the mom, she's like, oh, boogers aren't that nasty. It's just dirt and air and stuff. I said, you know what? I don't go lick the freaking ground either, and I had to tell the staff. And before I could get them, I turned around and this guy had walked over and he put the water thing. And
Oh, no.
I have said this day I have not drank out of a public.
Exactly. No. No.
No.
You never know. And that goes right back to the lack of accountability as well. I mean, that's your child. You should do something about it.
Exactly.
Okay, we have a question here for you. From Kristen Paris, I guess. Is that how you say it? It says, April, what would you consider your 3 top priorities you would address as commissioner if you were elected?
Honestly, I could ask that question so much, and it's so hard to answer because there are so many problems to begin with. It's like, how do you pick the top 3? But I think it kind of goes right back to the other answer, quality of life, quality of health, internet, stuff like that. Development, new business.
Okay. What was the other thing I wanted to get to with you? Oh, Second Amendment. No, actually, it's not just yet. Your idea for the mall. This was a couple questions I got. Your ideas for the mall and your ideas for having a big flea market here.
Well, we definitely need a flea market. I'm tired of traveling out of town to go to the flea market, to be honest with you. And that's something that we do quite often. As far as the mall, God, I'll have to think about that one for a minute because there are so many things that you could use it for. So many things. I don't think it should be used as government buildings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll have to think about that one.
I mean, well, they got a Rosie's there now, and
Right.
what's the other one store?
The The Ollies.
Ollie's.
But then that goes right back to everything being a discount store. And I mean, I'm glad that we have them here because it offers employment. It offers, you know, the resources, some resources that we need to buy. But it doesn't really offer, it doesn't serve the needs of the community.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be some places like
Everything that's opening right now, it's a discount store. You have all of the Dollar Generals that are opening, and then you had Rose's and Ollie's open recently. I mean, what are we opening that's not a discount store at this point?
So would you like set up a, like, they going out and talking to people, like the younger people, about what it is that where they're going now and what they're buying there to try to bring in those businesses, or trying to set up something where we can get local people to, one of my ideas was to, instead of them spending millions of dollars to bring in big companies and where they have to put the money up front first and then get it back later, you know, in 10 years from now.
If they get it back.
If they get it back, is to take some of that money, appropriate some funds so that people could open some businesses, you know, set it up like a draw system.
Right.
And
Kind of
then,
like an investment, if you will.
yeah, because we've got enough buildings in the county that we could, you know, just let rent spaces out. Mm-hmm. Hell, they could work a deal with them all.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
Well,
How many spaces are in there? Do you know?
I'm not sure. And, you know, one of the things that a lot of other communities are doing is turning the malls into apartments. Because if you think about it, I mean, malls are trying to make a comeback, but they're kind of lost. You know, everyone has the internet, everyone has the standalone buildings, stuff like that. They don't really, and there are a lot of people who do go to the mall, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of fading away a little bit, I would think.
I wouldn't know that with my daughter, the way her and her friends are. Every time it's Daytona Mall or St. Augustine Mall.
But then that's probably just something for them to do.
But even some of the stuff we have here,
Entertainment.
like the movie theater over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've done a kick butt job. I don't know if you've been there lately, but they've done. I know you don't watch TV and
I was gonna say we
movies
haven't.
and
I can't
stuff
even
like
tell you
that.
the last time that we went to the movies, to be honest.
But these kids are all going. My son last weekend, hauling butt over to St. Augustine to go to the theater over there, and we've got a perfectly good theater here, and they've gone in and redone the cameras and a bunch of the seats and everything. But the word so far hasn't gotten out. Hopefully we can help them out with that.
Well, it's not only that, but think about it this way, too. Once you leave that movie theater, especially after 9 o'clock at night, where are you going to go besides home? You leave the movie theater at 9 o'clock at night in St. Augustine, you turn a corner, and there's a whole town right there that's waiting for you.
Yep, that's what one thing, that's what my point I was getting to, and you nailed me, shut me down, girl.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
And it's horrible. It really is horrible because they can do all the work they want to on their movie theater, but until there's other businesses around it to support it, they're not going to have much success. And that's what we're running into with a lot of the businesses around here. We don't have anything that actually supports the needs of our community. And people who are opening businesses like lately, they're using their life savings. They're using all of their money, and their businesses don't fit the needs, so they don't survive.
Yeah, that's like Twisted Frozen Yogurt. I mean, they've opened up their business. They're trying to bring something to the county, but people just aren't really going there.
Right. They'd rather get to the racetrack and get their frozen yogurt out of the wall.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when Tammy and I were younger, it's just way, way before you even thought about, girl. But that's one of the things we used to hang out at the Dairy Queen or what was it, Jay Burns up there, and what was the place that had the pig troughs? We were just talking about Farrell's Ice Cream.
Oh, Farrell's Ice Cream. Yeah,
you could go in there.
They were in the mall.
Yeah, we go in there, and they had the thing called the pig trough. If you could eat it, you got a T-shirt that said, "I made a pig out of myself," and you didn't have to pay for it. It's like over a gallon of ice cream.
Wow, that's crazy. I would probably throw up afterwards.
Yeah.
If I even made it through to begin with.
I have an ice cream hangover every time I ate one of those, which is about once every 3 months.
No, that's crazy.
Was no going out for me after that. Go to the movies, go to Farrell's, go home, pass out.
Right.
Now it's go home and sit on the toilet with this lactose intolerant crap. But that's for another show. You know what? We need to have a show one night, Tammy, where we can. We'll have to find some people that are lactose intolerant. Have them go to Wendy's in Palaca and see if they can make it back to the studio.
Oh no.
Yeah, the one that makes it back doesn't have to pay for the ice cream. I got another question that came in. It says, what's your idea of what Putnam County needs other than internet?
Business.
Be more specific.
Business.
Okay.
Recreational activities.
Okay.
Everything. I mean, we need everything. We have nothing at this point.
Yeah, I was talking to you the last time about skateboard parks. Mm-hmm. And what's some of the other ideas you have for the parks? Of course, we talked about making them more, because we do have quite a few handicapped
Right.
children here.
Having like the wheelchair accessible swings and stuff like that.
Yeah, even like with the Special Olympic kids, though. I mean, there's a lot of special needs kids in this county. I don't even know if there's any special needs equipment for some of these kids, but we have a ton of them.
Right.
But the last question I got for you is, like right now I saw where, was it California right now is spending, do you remember what the thing was on it? It was 30-something thousand every year per homeless person.
Wow.
So we have over 4,000 homeless here in Putnam County.
Right.
There's a roundabout numbers that I've got. And that's through the Homeless Coalition that goes out and does their count every year. Mm-hmm. It has gone down some, but not nearly enough.
Right.
Well, is there any ideas you have for, like, with the homeless and especially our veterans? Because I know you're a big Second Amendment person, and one of your favorite things is our veterans and kids.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize that half of our homeless population are veterans.
Yeah, that's
that's a fact. That's something that people don't realize, and it's really sad to know that, and to know that they gave you the freedoms that you have today to be where you are, and look where they are.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that's something we've got to talk about in the next half hour. Tammy and I, is this crap going on with the NFL players. I'm not going to drag you into all
I'm not
all
a
that
football
Washington
fan, so
crap.
I'd be useless anyways.
Okay, it's
Do we have
700.
time for one more question?
It's 700 million expected in the next year in California.
Well,
for
we
the homeless.
definitely need some kind of program. I can't really say that the county can afford to do a program at this point because, I mean, what can we afford at this point? But we definitely need something in place to start helping them. And then that kind of goes right back to more business. We need more business that offers more employment. If we can get these people employed a little bit better than what they are, maybe, then we can get them back into homes.
But do you think, I know you got a question for Tammy, but this is the last question I got for. Do you think that the county commissioners now, if they were more in touch with their constituents, that there would be people more willing to volunteer? I mean, because you look at the county meetings, you got 10 or 15 people, the same people every week there at them.
Right.
And you look at their numbers on the Facebook page, and they're like, it's nothing. It's like either the people don't care or they're just so fed up with it from having so many years of, being screwed that, I mean, what do you think are some good ideas for getting a community involved? I mean, should they be going out and talking to people? Not just like, okay, campaigning right now. Everybody's out talking to their constituents, the people in their communities, trying to get them to vote to them. As soon as it comes November,
They're done. They're back in their office behind their door.
come December, you don't hear from them. You see them in the county meetings.
And I have to say there are a few out there that I see quite often when it comes to the community and when it comes to events and them volunteering and stuff like that. There are a few that I don't see at all, and I've been a volunteer in the community for almost 10 years now, probably. And like I said, there's a couple that I run into consistently, but there are some that you never see ever.
Yeah, I see Larry Harvey out all the time.
Right.
Him and Chip Liable, I see they're doing fundraisers for either the Rotary Club or they're out in the community doing stuff. I do see that. Even though you don't call me back, Larry, I do see him out. Hint. Call me. That was
But,
kinda
in
creepy,
all
wasn't
honesty, one of the other reasons I'm here, I'm not here to just call out the officials, the administrators, all of those. I'm also here to call out the community because without community support, we have absolutely nothing. And everything that everyone else is trying to do is just, what's the point? Because no one's going to support it. I mean, look at some of the events and stuff that we've had around Putnam County. How many of them have closed halfway throughout the day because no one showed up? But everyone at the same time is going, oh, woe is me, there's nothing here to do.
Right. Well, they did. I think I read the other day, or saw it in the county meeting, where they're going to have the beer fest They're supposed to be getting the last things. That's going to be in the courthouse. I don't have the dates with me. I wasn't going to announce it till later, but they did get that approved to have down at the courthouse. But you had a question for her, Tammy, before I answer this next one that came in?
Yeah, we had a question come in from a reader on the Putnam Way, and she wanted to know if you could change 3 things about schools, what would they be?
Schools in general or schools in our area? If I have to go with schools in general, I would definitely
No,
say
I think she means in our area.
in our area.
Mm-hmm.
I think our schools need updated. A lot of them are kind of old, out of date. We definitely need more recess time. You need to get children outside. They can't be cooped up all day, every day, and then you wonder, why do they have so much energy? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And then with schools in general, I don't agree with what they teach. I don't agree with Common Core. I don't agree with the history that they're learning, stuff like that. But back to our local level, we need a school board that collaborates a little bit better and gets along with each other a little bit better.
Amen to that. And doesn't rip
Boy,
off
that's for
Walmart.
sure.
And doesn't scream at each other in the middle of board meetings, stuff like that.
And call people names.
And rip Walmart
Cussing
off.
under your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they quit doing that since one of the meetings they said that they had to mind their P's and Q's. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but they had to mind their P's and Q's because they're being watched. Yep, so we watch every.
Well, they should know that to begin with. They shouldn't just come to that conclusion. That's something that they should have thought about since they had since the beginning of having their seat.
Yeah, I like Rick Cerency. Tammy and I do. I mean, the guys. I've seen him change a lot in the last year.
He is, but like I said, without the community's support, I mean, it's going to fall right back to that every time. They can do everything that they can do under the sun, but without the community's support, there's no point.
No, I had
And
another.
parents need to have a part in their students' life. I mean, the teachers are not babysitters. You're not sending them to school to be babysat every day. You're sending them to school to have an education. And parents definitely play a huge part in a child's education. And if they're not playing their part, what happens to the child? It's not on the teacher.
Exactly.
We've kind of gone over. I've got one other question we can go over because we own the station. One of the questions that came in, which is a very good question because we have this past week, Tammy got the numbers and all this stuff. I called it corporate office. We got involved with Walmart and Scott over there, and he donated 6 of the firefighters that are volunteer boots. New boots, which I thought was cool as all. They're the
awesome.
tactical boots so that they don't have to wear the heavy fire boots when they go on a call and stuff like that. But one of the readers that wrote in, do you have any thoughts on our volunteer fire stations and staffing them, and what could you do? There's a picture of Scott. Thank you, Scott. You are the man. Scott's such a cool guy.
He is. Very nice.
But the volunteer firefighters, is there any incentives that we can give these guys? I mean, they're running out of their houses where they're sitting down with their kids at dinner or their wives at a movie theater, and all of a sudden their pager thing goes off. And I've seen them up and, you can stand there and talk
and
to them.
And they're barely being paid anything. I mean, they're losing a lot of time with their family for peanuts, basically.
Yeah, $4 a call. I had a guy tell me, I kind of got in a pissing match with him the other day because he said, well, they do 4 or 5 calls, a day. And it's like, okay, at $4 times 5, you were raised to a
Do you want
Common
to
Core.
work for $20 a day?
Yeah, you have government math because in my book, and I'm no mathematician, but that's $20 stinking dollars for a day.
That goes right back to it being mathematically impossible for them to advance from where they are to the next step.
I mean, is there anything the county can do? Because there's so few of them. I mean, what's the possibilities of giving them tax-free on their properties?
The other thing that we run into a lot also is the response time. Because a lot of Putnam County is rural, so it takes them, like you said, they're running away from their dinner table. So how long does it take them to get from that dinner table to where they need to be to get the equipment that they need before they can actually go on that call?
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge problem. That's a huge problem across the county, and a lot of people are suffering from it. And someone actually suggested to me that we have one paid firefighter in each fire station. That way, when there is a call, that person is already there. They're ready. They can grab their stuff. They can be out the door, and then the next firefighter can meet them wherever they need to meet them.
Yeah. I'm amazed at how fast they are, because as soon as the thing is on my scanner, you know, there was a wreck a few months ago right down the road from my house. At a head-on collision. By the time I could throw my shoes on and get there, there was already 2 of the volunteers there in their own personal vehicles, but they were administering
Right.
stuff. And it's like that every time I go out to one of these things. But what are some? I mean, I know it's putting you on the spot, but like with our volunteers, I'm sure there's not one person. Well, there is one person in this county that would bitch because he's on there doing it every time on the Putnam Way. You know, firefighters shouldn't be, blah, 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 you know, kiss my butt. I don't care. But some incentive programs, like maybe not charging them for taxes on their house. I mean, you're only talking about most of the housing around here, if they've homesteaded it,
Well, I mean,
$300
that's
a
kind
year.
of- that's kind of an iffy one, you know, something like that, because who's to say they're not going to sign up as a volunteer just to get that incentive and then not actually do the job that they're there to do, that they're getting that incentive for?
Well, if they don't perform, I mean, you give them a year's time. If they've been on a fire department for a year's time, and this is something I've thought a lot about, because I just had a firefighter. We're going to try to do a fundraiser for him. I don't know how we're going to do it because I don't want to humiliate the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about, Tammy. We talked about him the
Yeah.
other night. I don't want to say his
Okay.
name on the air.
No, I know. Okay.
We were just talking about him last night. But his house, he's about to lose his house because he can't pay his taxes. He's gotten fired from 2 or 3 jobs because of being a volunteer. He's gotten canned. You know, I've got to go. I can't, you know, sit here and do this.
Well,
I
aren't
can't.
there
yes.
aren't there rules against that for the most part?
Yeah, but they just come up with different stuff, you know, to let them go. I mean, they don't. In Florida, it's one of the places where they don't have to give them a reason.
Right.
So if they just say, you know, we just can't use you anymore, and so I mean, just something like that. I mean, it's not. There's so few volunteers in the county, but we do need more volunteers. I mean, these guys are short-staffed.
Right.
If they offered it,
Well, and think about it. If the fire station is short-staffed, you know, if our entire county is short-staffed when it comes to firefighters and whatnot, what are you going to do when something happens to your house?
yeah. So I mean, offering them an incentive like, you know,
Really, I think we could probably raise the pay if we went about it the right way and we went through the budget and we went through some of the excessive spending that we have across the county. I think that we could definitely come up with some money that we could allocate to put towards them, whether it's a project to help fund them more or anything. I mean, there's money everywhere. Money is being hemorrhaged at this point, and I think we could definitely find something somewhere to put where it needs to be.
but is that something you would do when you got an office
Well,
to
sure,
looking
because
in
like
how
I
to?
said, I mean, if we don't have firefighters, then what's going to happen to everyone's homes? If your home catches on fire or anything of the sort, you get into a car accident. If you don't have anyone there to respond, what are you going to do?
Bleed out.
Right, you're done.
And there's quite a few areas across the country that have done that. I mean, where the economy's fallen, you know, people have moved out. Look at some of
Right.
their big steel mills up in Pennsylvania and, you know, out west and stuff.
Once those go, I mean, that's the whole community right there.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, there are areas in Putnam County that are rural to begin with, and so it takes them a little bit of time to get there from
Yep.
the fire station, you know?
And I know that when I volunteered, we were an all volunteer station.
Mm-hmm.
We did not get paid. We weren't funded it at all by the county. We were totally volunteer. We survived with community input, with dues, yearly dues, and with fundraising activities that we did. But it was a part of the rules when you joined the volunteer fire department that you had to pull at least one duty shift a week, so that they made sure that the station was manned at all
Right.
times. 24/7 there was somebody there, and usually at least one, if not 2 people there.
Right. And, you
And
know,
that-
I'm definitely not going to pretend to be the most educated on the subject because I most definitely am not. And I'm always open to suggestion and ideas and everything. But,
Right.
you know, I'm pretty sure if you look at everyone's property tax bill, there's a tax on there for the fire. So,
Right.
you know, where's that
Right.
money going if it's not going where it's supposed to?
Right, and I'm sure there was in Pasco County where I volunteered, but that money went to the paid departments. But it seems like, you know, perhaps maybe they could mandate something that would allow them to have maybe a paid person and a volunteer person pulling a duty shift to keep the stations manned in a more consistent manner so that there wasn't that time lag. It's just a thought.
Well, and
You know,
the
something
idea that
different.
was presented to me, which I kind of touched on a little bit a few minutes
Mhm.
ago, was having one person there to man the fire station. And it's basically, he would almost be like a maintenance man. You know, he's there to make sure the fire station is kept up, make sure it's tidy, make sure
Right.
things are being done that need to be done. But then at the same time, he's also there to say, hey, a call just came in, let me jump in and run, you know, let me go right now because I'm already here, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Ray recommends that, how about doing an audit for all of the county contracts and eliminating the ones that are friends of friends and family of family. Review, see if they are completing all the contract requirements.
I think we need an audit all the way across the county.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything in
good
the county
idea.
at this point needs to be audited. I think we need efficiency experts to come in at this point. I mean, everything's been so broken for so long. What would it be a few more dollars to hire someone to come in and say, hey, this is where all of your money is going right here. This is what you need. This is the leak you need to stop.
Yeah. I've seen some of that go on before.
And I'm sorry, but if you're scared to have that done because you're afraid you're going to lose your job, then maybe you should wonder, am I not doing something I'm supposed to be doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've
Absolutely.
got to get over and pick up your children. They're at your mom's house, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, the 4 kids. They're probably really good kids. I would not leave my 4 kids with anybody. Actually,
I
have
laugh at my mom because when I was a child, she used to tell us when we were being bad, oh, I can't wait till you have kids, and I hope they're 4 times worse than you are. But now she's stuck babysitting them all the time, so I'm wondering how she feels about that now.
Don't be surprised if she does like I do my kids with my grandkids. I'll give them and I hope your mom's not listening to the show because this is horrible. A sun-kissed orange and one of those big Snicker bars like that long before I drop them off. And it's just set outside.
She doesn't do it so much now, but yeah, she used to sugar them up quite a bit, and then she'd send them home.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have that much. Okay, they're tearing my house apart.
2-liter bottle of
Grandmother's
Coke.
curse.
2-liter bottle of Coke, some Pez, and a Snickers bar. That'll get them.
No, they love Grandma's house. They really do. They love it over there. Even my 1-year-old, I'll get her dressed sometimes, and then she jumps down and she says, okay, Mama house. And I'm like, no, we're just getting dressed.
Okay, well, we're going to let you get out of here and go get your children. We'll see you back here on the 27th with the Special Olympic kids.
Yes,
Or
definitely.
young people, or adults.
Definitely.
Yeah, wait till you meet Peter Parker. This
Oh, he
kid
sounds
is so
fun.
cool. But anyways, thank you so much for coming in, and we'll see you back then. You have a good evening, and
Thank you for having me back. Definitely.
yeah, and you guys get out and vote for April Iser. Okay? All right, well, thank you, April. You have a good evening, sweetheart.
Thank you, y'all too.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, Tammy. You too.
Bye.
That was April Iser, guys. She's running for District 3 in Putnam County. Just because you're not in District 3 does not mean you cannot vote for her.
Yep. Anybody can.
So while we're letting her get out of the studio, we have the America's Air for Jeremiah. Thank you very much for coming in. We have America's Air, Jeremiah. They service, they're out of Jacksonville, but they service Putnam County, Ocala, I believe, Volusia. 904-735-6299. You guys need to go call them up. They're the ones actually doing my work on my house. And they do. Andrea said she's got to get them over there to work on her house, too. Told her to call up Jeremiah. Okay,
She's been
we have.
about air everywhere.
Yep. Okay, you want to do Bob's real quick?
Yeah, I gotta Hold on.
Here you go.
No, hold on. I can't do it from there. It's not plugged up to the right thing.
Oh, okay.
There.
We got to get those other microphones in here so he can be over here.
And
Eastside Collision and Towing, 24-hour towing available, 386-227-0003. They specialize in towing, collision work, custom painting, mechanical work. Located at 286 Highway 17 South, East Blacka, Florida, 32131. They give free estimates. Call Bob Baldwin. He is the owner.
I think it's 227-0003. I couldn't. Okay.
227-0003.
Yeah, Bob, you need to call me. Okay, is that our last one for tonight? I believe so. Yep. I'll give Barbie a shout out anyways. But back to Satsuma Produce. I can't wait to get in there and snack on that corn. They do have corn. And it's a huge, huge crate for $17. So anybody doing cookout, you want to feed everybody, there is a ton of corn there. Okay, we got to get a lot to get done here. We've only got 10 minutes to get through this stuff. Pick one, Tammy.
Well, I think that we should talk about that girl that got groped.
Oh, yeah. We actually have the video on this. Let's go ahead and put this video up and let you guys watch it. But watch what the guy does. He grabs her on her butt when she's walking by. And this is something my daughter would do. She just body slams this guy. Whipped his ass. You can see her the guy walking by. Watch it. Wait for it. There it is. Come here, you prick. Bam.
Slams him into the garbage can.
Yeah, so then the cops, play it one more time so these guys can see it. Watch this idiot grope her butt. He deserved more than that. She should have kicked him in the groin while he was there.
Yeah, I watched it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
she just was so smooth about it.
Boop, bam. Here we go. There you go, a-hole. Bam.
The bad part about it is that he was there with his wife and kids.
What an idiot.
And they came and they put him in handcuffs in front of his wife and kids.
Yeah, well, he deserved it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. I think that it's just a shame.
Some of the comments I heard were, well, she shouldn't have been dressed like that. You know what? No matter how she dresses, that doesn't give a guy a right to grab the stuff with a pig.
Hands on her.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have respect.
That's right.
And then the cops came and got him. He spent 2 days in jail. I'm sure he could have gotten bonded out that night. I bet you $50 to a pound of pig groins. That his wife said, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can sit there, sucker.
Oh, we got to do Greg Williams real quick. The cell phone. Okay, we got the NFL to do. The NFL is at it again. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Some of these teams are choosing not to fine their players if they don't kneel. I don't think they should fine them at all. Yeah, they might have the right to do it. But you know what? Disrespectful. You don't get my money. I have boycotted the NFL until these players quit doing it. You know, you're an American football team, and you don't mind our money, yet you won't support our country. There's people that fought and died, so you have the right to do it. Don't disrespect the flag. Do anything else you want, but don't disrespect the flag. Another flag thing was stinking Maxine Waters back in the news again.
She just can't stay out of the news.
No, it's not that. Okay, yeah, put that one up for a second. Maxine Waters started a bunch of crap a few weeks ago, saying people are going to turn on them. She's basically telling everybody to I love that bottom picture, to protest Trump. So the Trump staff and stuff, when they go out, get a crowd together, basically, you know, create a mob and riot, you know, which is getting dangerous, you know. But then today there was a couple guys going to protest her, which they have the right to do. But then these people showed up, and we have the video on it too, don't we? They showed up, and then the protesters that were going to protest Maxine Waters didn't show up. Because, well, they did. That's a lie. They showed up, but there was other protesters there that are brain dead that go over and grab the American flag, take it off of these people's truck, and then off a car, and then light them on fire in front of her things. And their thing was that, let me see exactly what they said.
You're not going to intimidate our Queen Maxine.
Yeah, and then they said they were chanting Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, and then they were chanting, they were stomping on it first. And then they were chanting, this is not the American flag, or this is not the American flag, this is their flag. What the hell does that mean? You guys stomp on an American flag and light it and burn it? I wish they had a government agency like ICE or somebody that would shoot your ass, taser you, I mean, let you sit there and flop on the ground like a fish out of water, and then throw you in a coffin with our military people and men and women that serve this country. That we just had a few that got killed this week too. You know, that's a load of crap. Okay, yeah, go ahead and play the video so they can see this.
I saw the change in Rich when we moved into the new house, but having his parents over was enlightening.
No, that's not it.
I saw the change in Rich.
I thought I
when we moved into
downloaded
the new house.
No, you downloaded Progressive Automotive. Get them off. They're not paying us.
I guess the thing downloaded the wrong video because it picked up the ad, not the actual one.
Okay, we don't need it. Maxine Waters, she's not worth us wasting any time on. Okay, we have New Jersey. Jesus, these guys, man. I tell you what, up north, there is definitely something in the water. Did you see this? Where they came out today that senators and Congress people are trying to put a tax on tap water now. 10 cents for every 1,000 gallons that you use. But they're not calling it a tax. They're calling it a service or some crap. What a bunch of idiots. We'll get into that more on this coming week because we need, speaking of water, we need to do the quench the thirst thing real quick. This is for our volunteer firefighters. They are out on the streets. We talked about them tonight and with the $4 a call and stuff. One of the things they don't, they have to buy things out of their own pockets. Bottled water, Powerades, chips, protein bars, granola bars. Don't get them any chocolate bars. I mean, a few of them might like chocolate bars, but I can't see that being very good when you're out in a fire. It'd be like sticking your hand in a diaper. Nothing but brown going to come back out. Beef jerky, Slim Jims, candy bars, snack crackers, peanut butter crackers. Don't forget toilet paper and paper towels. And probably hand sanitizer, too, or there's wet wipes or something. So when they're out on fires, they can, sanitize. You guys, you can donate over at Hitchcock's or any of the Hitchcocks or any of the Save-A-Lots. You can see Mary over there at Save-A-Lot or Misty and Joanne over there. And Joanne's in East Palatka, Misty is in Interlaken, and I don't know who is in Keystone Heights. But go over there and tell them, just walk into any place and tell them that you need to donate water to the firefighters and that they need to be responsible for getting it to the firefighters. I'm sure you'll make them step up to the plate. Just buy it and leave it set there.
In Walmart.
Oh, we got one real quick because we've only got 2 minutes left. The cell phone woman who tried to extort, because I want to get our friend Lee in. The cell phone madam that wanted to extort the guy's sitting in a bar with his buddies, leaves his phone on there, and she thought she had him. She was sending texts to him that she was going to extort him, and she wanted $300. Then it came to $500, or she was, saying she was slept with him and messed around with him, stuff, going to send it to his wife. So he calls the cops. I don't know who she is, blah, 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 blah. She posted up the day before that they had broken up, or she had broken up with her boyfriend. And then she comes up with a story. She's trying to help her brother with medical problems.
Oh, my land.
Yeah, she's trying to extort the kid, or the old man. Well, you know what? Let's save the whippy and... we got too much to get to. The boat in Missouri, you guys pray for those families. There's a bunch of people lost.
Oh, the duck boat.
In a duck
They
boat.
found everybody, and some of the ones who passed away were children too. So
Yeah.
keep those families in your prayers.
We'll get into Cortez and Sanders. We can probably do that on Monday night. Who we got coming up Monday night? Brittany Fonts. Your favorite girl. I'm going to let you do most of her interview. You know, she thought we were fake when she first came out. Because I had the heart attack, and then we were slow getting the radio station and stuff going. Yeah. But tell them where they can reach us at, Tammy. And don't forget about the contest.
On Facebook, and we're at the Putnam Way and IITW Radio. We are on Twitter in both places. And we are on YouTube at IITW Radio. And you guys need to find us, like us, share us. Let everybody know where we are, and let everybody know about our show and the radio station.
We got one to do real quick. Lee and Joseph, I wanted to take a picture of her today. We have picked up a new friend. That's Joseph and our buddy Lee, our friends. We only have 2 of them, except for Mama B. So, anyways, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for letting us come into your hearts, your homes, and just share a little bit of our crazy ass world with you, everybody's mixed up. But we'll see you back here on Monday night with Brittany Fonts. Thank you, April, for coming on. We'll see you back, God willing. The creek don't rise and the government don't get me first. Good night.
Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe.
Yep.
Few years ago, I regret the decision to push you two together, make a love inquisition. I know some things you can't take back.